Let's talk about Lego lately. We love Lego. But over the last few months, we've noticed ourselves losing a little bit of the delight.
Every month we look at the sets coming soon, and instead of being eager for every one, we're just a little bit less excited than before.
There are so many big sets that all seem nice in their own way, or like they'd be attractive sculptures in your home, but they feel a little
repetitive, expensive,
and impressive, mostly because they're big and expensive. So we wanted to try a different approach. We wanted to pare things down and dive into the fundamentals, into the building techniques that are the thing we love most about Lego. We love Lego because it distills the mush of everyday life into perfect techniques that we can get a Gears level understanding of, that we can execute perfectly. So we decided to stop chasing the Lego release cycle, and instead start from what we know we love, and go on a quest to find delightful techniques. So we decided to follow the path of one of our favorite Lego designers, design master Mike Psiaki.
We decided to choose 11 of Mike Psiaki's sets to build and study. And today, we want to take you on a tour of the advanced building techniques in 5 of these sets.
Let's dig in. We wanted to start out with one of the known best of all time sets, the creator expert Ford Mustang 10265. One of only 3 sets that Blocks magazine has given 100 out of 100 score to. This set combines a wide variety of advanced building techniques into one cohesive piece.
We're building a 1967 Ford Mustang GT Fastback, one of the most influential cars ever designed, at a 1:13 scale, meaning that each stud in the set represents 4.1 inches in the actual car.
One hallmark of Mike's work is how he builds in functions, often using Technic pieces, in a way that melts perfectly into the look of the set. For example, this was the first creator expert car to have working steering, meaning that you can turn the steering wheel and the front wheels move.
In order to do that, we need 3 things: the steering wheel, which the driver controls, a steering gear set, which changes the rotational motion of the steering wheel into a straight line motion, and the steering linkages, which transmit the steering gear set's movement to the wheels, the front wheels in this case. Ideally, you want to amplify the turning effect applied on the steering wheel by the driver, so that you don't have to turn the steering wheel too many times to turn the car wheels.
Since we're at 1:13 scale, which is very small for functional Lego cars, Mike Psiaki had to pare down each of the 3 parts to fit this tight space. To change the rotational motion of the steering wheel into linear motion of the car's wheels, he uses a lever-type steering gear set with a 2L Technic lift arm as the lever, instead of a rack and pinion gear set like in most Technic sets, which is also the most common type of steering gear set in a passenger vehicle. Because these are toothed gears, we can amplify the rotation of the steering wheel by having different numbers of teeth on each of these elements. Mike Psiaki also uses a new, deeper wheel element to tuck the steering knuckles where the wheels pivot on the axle fully into the wheels, so the entire mechanism fits compactly into this tight space.
Compare this to an advanced Technic set. This is the 42123 McLaren Senna GTR, which is excellent by the way. The Senna uses a rack and pinion steering mechanism and has the wheels rest outside the steering mechanism.
The second function lets the back of the car be raised and lowered, using a worm gear. Worm gears are useful because 1, they have a high reduction ratio, which makes it possible to really slow down a function, or increase its torque. And 2, you can't reverse the direction of power. It's always the driving gear, and can't be driven. This lets us lock whatever we're turning at a certain position.
This is helpful for making our Mustang look a little meaner, or a little friendlier. We can raise or lower it with high precision because of the reduction ratio, and the car will be locked into the position when we let go because of the directionality of power.
And around these functions, there's this artful scale modeling. First, we build up these clean, light bluish-gray lines in the body. And then, to make precisely the right shape, he makes liberal use of studs on top techniques, in order to build in more than one direction. So for example, to shape the core of the front bumper, he builds this part sideways, and then attaches to the stud's side-up assembly by snapping bars into clips.
But back to the build.
There's a nice shifter mechanism that's built sideways again, with the studs pointing backwards. And here, Mike uses this click hinge to let the shifter click into different positions in a satisfying way, like in a real car. Then there's the engine, including oil cap with pony. And to get the steering wheel to be at the correct angle, Mike constructs a triangle using offset Botanicals.
It turns out that there are many more triangle options available to us if we don't need them to be right triangles.
The steering wheel axle is attached with a U-joint to the driving gear of the steering mechanism. This Mustang fits 4 full seats, which are textured using sideways profile bricks. And the rear seats can fold forward to allow more cargo in the trunk. The rear windshield is attached with studs pointing backwards too, and this elegant dark blue shaping with curved slopes. Here's the dashboard and A-pillars, which again are very precisely angled using Lego stud geometry. And then the front bumper is shaped using 2 angles of wedge plates.
Then we add the pony.
By using snot again, Mike creates surfaces all around this front headlight corner where he can hang curved pieces so that this all blends into one curved body.
And these light bluish-gray strut bars above the engine are a right triangle.
The Mustang also has a novel door mechanism. First, the doors use a nifty double hinging mechanism which both 1. Moves the pivot point of the door to the center line of the two hinges, and 2. Adds extra damping, which makes the doors feel more robust. But beyond that, the doors have a new shape to allow them to close tightly and fully. This is how it looks in the Mustang. And it's done! It's very impressive the way these LEGO elements combine to replicate the shape and curves of the vehicle, pretty much perfectly, by building up each part carefully and precisely. The Mustang is truly a masterclass in LEGO building and piece usage. The building techniques in this set were so elegant that, honestly, it got annoying at times. Next, we want to build a Creator 3-in-1 set that Mike Psiaki designed a few years back, 31052 Vacation Getaways from 2016. This set uses the same list of 792 pieces to build a camper van with bear, a vacation house, and a yacht. We're going to track 4 parts through this build: a trans black sloped windscreen, a 2x2 yellow tile, a black spindled fence piece, and a tan 1x2 plate with door rail. We're still relatively new to the world of LEGO, so we thought a Creator 3-in-1 would be a perfect way for us to see how Mike Psiaki approaches using the same parts in different ways to make radically different things. There's a cute seating area, a long yellow bench in the back of the camper van with a fold-down table, 2 red chairs and a side yard for the house, and blue chairs with a yellow table in the cabin of the yacht. We've got some more door rails here, one used as a rail and one used as a tabletop, and our first yellow tile. And we can compare the mini kitchens in all 3. The sink and range are almost identical. Nice use of windows, and look at these clean brick-built stripes on both the van and the yacht.
As usual with LEGO boats, the port or left side is marked with red, and the starboard or right side is marked with green pieces. A signature piece in this set is the 3x4x4 inverted sloped windscreen. In the van, they're used stud sign on bottom and connected to the studs on top rest of the build with this bar and clip. And there's this nice slope as side mirror detail. In the vacation house, it goes the opposite direction with studs on top, and it makes this nice sloped window detail that makes the house more architecturally interesting. And in the yacht, it's set on hinge plates and rests down with a perfect fit exactly sideways, with the black bar used as a handle instead of a clipping point. In the house, we start building the second floor and a second outdoor seating area. And in the yacht, we get a beautiful cockpit with sloped front details and light bluish gray bars at left and right as an accent. And there are different beds in each one. The camper van has a 3-wide bed, the vacation house has the largest bed, 4-wide, and the yacht has these 2 cute, tiny 2-wide beds. And they're all different colors.
But look a little closer. In the camper van, the whole bed section slides out on these tan rails, which connect with these 1x4 bricks with grooves. And the section is blocked from falling out by these sand blue slopes with cutouts, and also blocked from going too far in with floor tiles. There's this nicely set handle to push and pull the section, and everything is smooth and tiled. The bed itself is 5 studs long, but needs to be centered in this 6 stud section. So in order to center odd on even, Mike Psiaki uses jumper plates to offset by half a stud. And the bed even hinges up for extra storage underneath. And these white pieces are the backs of cheese slopes, which are 2 plates high and fit perfectly under the bed.
Then we build this roll-away canopy with Technic pieces. And one of the best parts of this build are these folding pieces of camping furniture, which unfold for use and fold to stow away, just like real-life camping furniture, but with less mud.
Then we have the finishing touches. There's this asymmetrical sloped roof whose windows are angled with hinge plates, making this house a modern neighborhood-enhancing architectural work. Plus, there's a friendly bear.
The vacation house turns the bear into a grill. And all 3 of these use these bright coffee mugs to make us want to hang out here. Next, there was one set that we knew Mike Psiaki had designed, but that he didn't put on his brick set list. Set 10311, Orchid, part of the Botanical collection. So we wanted to build it to find out if we weren't supposed to like it or something, and to find out some circle and organic techniques. We start by building a round pot. The way Mike Psiaki does this is by using an 8x8 round plate, which is round, but also has studs on this XY axis. What's special about the 8x8 plate, as opposed to the smaller round plates, is that the studs closest to its edges are all at almost the same distance from the center. This lets us put Technic bricks around the edge of the plate and put pins in them, and have these pins be at around the same distance from the edge. Then we add 3 more layers like this, with every other layer staggered halfway, or 22.5 degrees, so that we have 16 attachment points evenly spaced around the circle. Each layer is 5 plates high, so 2 studs, which means that we can attach these 1x7 lift arms vertically and they fit the pins perfectly. Then we attach 16 of these plates with pins on the bottom to the lift arm, which means that now the diameter of the whole assembly is 27 plates, meaning the circumference is 27 plates times pi, or about 84.8 plates, which discretized and divided by the 5-plate width of this sand blue double slope piece means that these fit approximately perfectly, without any gaps in between them. Pretty cool. The use of Technic works well here. It's neat how Technic can make such organic forms. And there's some really ingenious part usage in the flower. That's a fork and a frog. We place the rest and it's done.
If anyone knows why Mike Psiaki left this off his brickset list, please let us know.
Okay, we have to take a break for spaghetti now.
Next, we have a 2014 gift with purchase polybag that Mike Psiaki designed. Set 30187 fast car. At just 56 pieces, it looks like a speedy, sleek, and exhilarating car. There's snot in this too, to shape both the rear and front bumpers and lights. It uses just trans-clear slopes, not windscreen pieces, for the windshield and windows. Brick-built stripes too, and cute taillights. Plus a cute spoiler that's clipped in and can pivot. Hard to beat in under 60 pieces.
And now, let's go to the moon.
We wanted to build this one before it retired at the end of December 2022. And we figured it'd be an even more advanced version of the circle building we got with Orchid.
So let's go back in time. NASA sent humans to the moon 9 times from 1968 to 1972 using this, the Saturn V rocket, allowing 12 astronauts to walk on the moon. How? On July 16, 1969, this rocket on the Apollo 11 mission launched from Cape Kennedy, Florida. The first stage, called the S-1C, carried the spacecraft 42 miles above the Earth's surface. The Saturn V is a demonstration of a bunch of different types of snot connections. We start out with one Technic immediately, at the very bottom of stage 1. Here, we use brackets to mount Technic bricks sideways with their holes facing down. This 1 creates Technic connection points, which we'll use later. 2 adds 2 studs at each of 4 points around the sides of the rocket, which we can use to attach bricks vertically later. And 3 makes this vertical height 1 full brick, because we have the 1 stud, or 2.5 plates, of the sideways Technic brick, plus the half plate of the bracket. Further up, we connect this oxygen line made of round bricks into the side via cone with bar and clip. And we snap in the bottom of that line with a Technic pin in hole, which lets the plate with hole connect sideways to the underside of the round bricks. Next to that, we attach these bulkhead sections with bars and clips too. And once the rest of stage 1 is done, we use the Technic holes we made at the beginning to attach the 5 engines for stage 1. There are also click hinge connections here to get these in the exact right position. And these are all resting on a Technic axle connection, so the studs can flip around in opposite directions. Then the second stage ignited, getting the spacecraft to 109 miles above Earth's surface. We put these headlight bricks sideways with their holes into these bars. And then guess what's going to happen with these clips? And all this snot isn't just for fun. We need these multiple layers of attachments vertically and radially to give the rocket stages longitudinal strength, so that the set comes apart only at the bar and clip attachment points between the stages, and doesn't disintegrate within each stage. The much smaller third stage of the rocket fired just enough to move the spacecraft into a parking orbit. The crew made 1.5 orbits around the Earth, then ignited the third stage again to shift them onto a trajectory toward the moon.
We confirm ignition and the thrust is go.
The crew had to shift the spacecraft into the right configuration for reaching the moon. They dropped the lunar module shields, then they had to detach and flip the command and service modules and redock them, pointing the other way. The spacecraft coasted for 3 days through space. Here the crew split
Be
up.
advised there are lots of smiling faces in this room.
But that was only half the mission. Now the crew had to get back to Earth. And this is also technically snot. And then NASA did it 5 more times.